Charlie O'Mara could be in some trouble right here. Top in they go. And Emma Crane takes a ton down there to run out by 0.02 of a second. Charlie O'Mara goes to the next round. 91.8 on the 90 index. Caitlin Page, left side out of Forest, Virginia. Kylie Varner. Number 1 and number 5 in the point standings face off here in the opening round. Separated them on reaction time. Win light's going to go to your points leader. Caitlin Page goes 91.8. Kylie Varner 94.5. Not going to be enough. Cameron Helms, left-hand side out of Midland, North Carolina for Tough Jug. James Beatty the third on the right-hand side. Number 2 in the point standings for ATI Performance Products, Stroud Safety, Computech, and Maxima Racing Oil. It's a red light start by 0.08 of a second for James Beatty. 7:95.1 for the win for Helms, left side. Jaden Dickerson on the left-hand side for AA Transmissions, 23 half scale. Gavin Wood here on the right-hand side for Affordable Transmissions, his 23 half scale. Gavin Wood, 002 going by the Christmas tree. And how about 2 total? Gavin Wood, 002, dead 0. Locks out Jaden. Valerie Wright next out on the left-hand side out of Dinwiddie, Virginia for Virginia Cars and Carts, Twisted Concepts, and Ethan Santmeyer here on the right-hand side out of Summerville, South Carolina, the 2015 half scale. Win light goes to Ethan, 96. on a hole shot as Valerie Wright goes dead 6, but was dead late leaving the starting line. Ashton Hollis next out on the left-hand side. Out of Williamsville, New York, for Weller's Machine, Hoosier Tire, Race Star Wheels, FTI, and Ivy Galley on the right-hand side. Out of Pasadena, Maryland, for 1320. Ivy has the better reaction time to the top end day march. Win light goes to Ashton Hollis. 790 with a 7. Ivy only goes through at a 794. Taylor Rudder left-hand side. The Jarvis Marine half scale. Aiden Christian on the right-hand side. Only 1 thou separate them on reaction time. Win light goes to Aiden Christian. Dead 8. Too quick for Taylor. 785.2 on the 90. Hunter Roberts going to come out next, left-hand side. Connor Hayes here on the right side of the racetrack. Number 6 in the point standings. About a 002 to a 006 on reaction times. Top end, win light goes to Hayes, who is 10 total. Hunter Roberts goes through at a 794.8 and no good. Donald O'Mara III, left-hand side, the Lucky Duck out of Clayton, North Carolina. Birch Brothers, Seville, O'Mara Realty Group, all on board, and Jason Garius here on the right-hand side out of Prince George, Virginia. Battery Barn and Huddleston Performance on board his machine. O'Mara in control. 005 going by the tree. And the win light. 793.0 whole shot win is Jason Garius. 37, not a bad reaction time. 8 thou above the index, but not good enough. Cam Robinson left side out of Greer, South Carolina for Greenbrier Excavating. Maddox Lyons here on the right side for Lyons Custom Motorsports. Reaction time advantage goes to Maddox Lyons here on the right-hand side. So does the win light, 791.6. Cam Robinson, 794.6. Alyssa Tillman, next out, left-hand side, comes in as your number 32 qualifier. For Hubble Motorsports ATI, and Calvin Weaver on the right-hand side out of Brightwood, Virginia. Final call for Edelbrock Bracket Bash. Final call for opening round of Edelbrock Bracket Bash. There will be no buybacks here at Drag Wars. No buybacks for Bracket Bash. So make your opening round count. Tillman going to move on to round number 2. 009 red light for Calvin Weaver. Tillman 19 going by the tree. Alyssa Raven, the pink bullet here on the right-hand side, the 2010 half scale. Professional Garage Doors, FTI, Redline Oil, Baker Towing, and Shane Daly, the Stuff Rat Jr. for Hubble Motorsports over on the left-hand side.
Alyssa Raven turns it green, right side. The advantage by 10 thou going to the pink bullet. 660 foot mark. Win light comes on for Alyssa, and it's 7,900 to a 790 with a 3 for Shane Daly. It was 13 thou margin of victory going to Alyssa. Here on the right side.
Kylie Wright next out, left-hand side. The Purple Moose out of Pendleton, New York. Huddleston Performance and Rowan Parlett, the robot, here on the right-hand side for Computech, VP Race Fuels, and Hubble Motorsports. Rowan with the reaction time advantage as they head towards the finish line. Win light for Rowan, 792.1 on the 90 index. Too quick for Kylie Wright, 7 thou under, taking 16 thou to stripe. Chloe Garius, left-hand side, the Heartbreaker. Mike Boss chassis for Battery Barn. And Lane Morgan here on the right-hand side, D&T Enterprise.
Chloe. Staged and ready. Lane Morgan, final one to move in. Flickers that bottom ball. 3 fires. And Lane Morgan leaves the starting line with reaction time advantage. Win light comes on though by 2 thou for Chloe. 7.905 beats the 7.939 for Lane Morgan at 79 miles an hour. So Garius will advance here this afternoon.
Spencer McGee, left-hand side for Brian's Heating and Cooling and Bucked Up Energy. Brian Atkins here on the right-hand side out of Bluefield, West Virginia.
Flash and go, 6 thou advantage, right side, Brian Atkins. Spencer McGee looking over his shoulder, trying to make something happen at the other end on a dual breakout. It's going to be Brian Atkins by 4 thousandths. The second margin of victory, 785.2 to a 784.8. Brian Atkins closer to the index there.
Autumn Atkins up next here on the right-hand side. Sophie Cooper, left-hand side. Sophie, number 4 in the point standings. Trying to make a move as both James Beatty, who was number 2, out. CJ Jenkins did not qualify. Sophie Cooper has an opportunity. She can turn on a win light here to move up into the points. A little closer to your points leader, Caitlin Page. Sophie, 003, going by the tree, and 1 thou under for the dub on a double breakout against Autumn Atkins. Sophie Cooper moves on to round number 2. Edelbrock Bracket Bash presented by Philadelphia Racing Products, round number 1. Colby Helms, Michael Morton, 5'11" to a 6'46", and Colby Helms in full control here, Derek.
Oh yeah, Colby Helms takes 38 thou to be dead 6.
Earl Penny next out out of Selma, North Carolina. His 66 Chevy 2 is going to be dialed in at a 564. And Zach Shirkey here on the right-hand side out of Ridgely, Maryland, dials in at a 496. Earl Penny with his hands full out there. 001 red. Zach Shirky's 10. Dead 9 to be 19 total and moving on. Rip and left side racetrack. Law here on the right hand side. 620 the dial for the S10.
One thou separated at the starting line, and at the other end, Richard Jackson's going to be your winner. 589 here as Donald Outlaw takes 40 to be under by 7 thou. 619 on the 620 for Outlaw.
Henry Snellgrave Jr. right hand side. For Lions Custom Motorsports, dials in at a 525. 531 dial in for Bernice Parker in the altered.
Boy, how about Henry Snellgrave? His 003, dead 5. He is 8 total to be your round winner as Bernice Parker is 11th thou above the dial and in the way.
Brady McCown left side. Chevrolet Camaro out of Wytheville, Virginia, dials in at a 594 in the wagon here on the right hand side. Who doesn't love a wagon? 579 the dial.
Brady McCown, 31 green. The wagon's 5 thou red, right side. 595, one above, 112 for Brady.
Larry Miller left side out of Sandston, Virginia, the Mighty Mouse Solution Chevelle. Watch that machine leave. He likes to hang the hoops. And Mike Bowie here on the right hand side out of Timmonsville, South Carolina. The Turner's Auto Salvage Duster dials in out of 704. Well, unfortunately for Larry, that one did not go straight. Had the reaction time advantage, but the first time all weekend we've seen that Chevelle make a move towards the center line. So Mike Bowie going to advance to round number 2 here in Edelbrock Bracket Bash. Coleman Coates on the right-hand side out of Four Oaks, North Carolina. The 69 Camaro dials in at a 660. And Harold Honeycutt out of Albemarle, North Carolina. The 73 Courier pickup dials in at a 520. Coleman having to do some driving here on the right side. Harold Honeycutt going to turn on a wind light, 536, but Coleman moves hard to the right-hand side. That thing, watching it on the Flow replay, was headed towards the retaining wall. He was 001 to Harold Honeycutt's 005, but a little sketchy for Coleman Coates. Yeah, the Kenny's Auto Machine here on the right-hand side dials in at a 472. Cody Baker on the left side, 638 the dial. Two thou separate them on reaction time. Top in they go. Wind light goes to Harper. Dual breakout. Harper closest to the dial in with a 470 with a 7. Donald Webb left side. Four Oaks, North Carolina. For Mickey Thompson, dials in at a 465. Mallory Logan on the right-hand side for Texas Roadhouse out of North Chesterfield, Virginia, dials in at a 464. Red light start for Logan. Donald Webb moves on. 1 above 7, 19 letting go.
Coming up next, it's going to be Floyd Brown right side. That's going to be the Georgia-based Vegas, 651 the dial. And Dylan Champion at 655. The old sneaky snake, Floyd Brown. Turn loose. Floyd Brown might be in trouble. He's 54 and behind. Dylan Champion's 11 green and 665 above gets the job done.
Will Kreisman left-hand side, 444 the dial for the CNC Chemical Powered Dragster. Kerry Curling on the right-hand side, the Duster, dials in at a 569. Curling in full control right here. Top in to go. Wind light goes right side. 003, 571 on the 69 dial. Jamie Miller right hand side. Yes, 10 dials in out of 605. Michael Longany on the left hand side. The 83 Camaro dials in at a 684. Double 04 red light for Miller. Curtis Pierce left-hand side out of Newton Grove, North Carolina, 646. Nick Rivas on the right-hand side, 699.
throttle stop action there. It sounded like for Nick, he's 14 green, 7 flat, 1 above. As Curtis Pierce is 033 and 645 under by 9 thou.
David Collins, Josh Owens next out. Owens here on the right side, 473 the dial. 479 for Collins, left-hand side. Collins is 009 red. Josh Owens moves on. Stephanie Rayner, left side out of Benson, North Carolina for Victory Lane Golf Carts. The O2 Grand Am is going to be dialed in at a 514. And Sean Morrison here on the right-hand side out of Apex, North Carolina. The Chevy 2 dials in at a 541. Stephanie turning on the wind light. 32 letting go, 16 with a 9 on the 14 for the dub. Ernie Lumpkin, left-hand side. 55 Bel Air Chevrolet dials in at a 553. Richard Alford Jr. Slick Rick here on the right-hand side. Dials in at a 461. Lumpkin 006, 55 on a 53 for the dub. Tucker Creech, left-hand side, the 72 Nova out of Benson dials in at a 558. And Curtis Collins here on the right-hand side, the Tennessee-based 63 Corvette Roadster dials in at a 533. Red light start for Curtis Collins. Tucker Creech moving on, 58 dead 3. Joey Outlaw left side at Apex, North Carolina. Pro Copo. 616. Greg Maddox on the right side, 487. Red light start for Joey Outlaw. Greg Maddox going to move into round number 2. In the pit area, Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous will take you to the lanes, please. Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous will take you to the staging lanes, please. Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous cars for round number 2 will take you to the lanes. Charlie O'Mara left side out of Clayton, North Carolina. The Ronnie Roberts Racing 2016 American chassis dials in at a 471. And Jaden Dickerson here on the right-hand side out of Christiansburg, Virginia. The pickup truck dials in at a 656. O'Mara in control as far as reaction times go. Top end scoreboard says Charlie O'Mara. 473.0 on the 471. Bryson MacArthur, left side out of Mount Olive, North Carolina. The dragster dials in out of 475. And Donald O'Mara Jr. Clayton, North Carolina. The Silver Bullet pickup truck for O'Mara Realty Group. Celtic Creamery dials in out of 602. Pro Nitrous will take you to the lanes, please. Pro Nitrous will take you. Bryson gives chase, has the better reaction time. Top end, turns on the wind light. 77 on the 75. O'Mara runs out. 599 on the 602. Kristen Bird, left side of the racetrack out of Benson, North Carolina. The race tech dials in at a 464. And Richard Tillman for ATI Performance Products here on the right-hand side. 484 the dial. Top end wind light goes to Kristen. One above, 42 letting go. Tillman was 52 on the let go. 2 above 1, no good. Lauren Freer going to be on the bye run here in round number 1 of Edelbrock Bracket Bash. 447 the dial for the Mooresville, North Carolina based Miller chassis for Mickey Thompson Tires and Wright Trailers. .448 on the 47, and that's going to round out our opening round of eliminations in Edelbrock Bracket Bash, presented by Philadelphia Racing Products. We will take some time here real quick to do a skim scrape on the surface and get ready for our professional category. Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous, we've called you to the staging lanes. Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous, we've called you. Pro Boost, you are on standby. Get them on the ground, buttoned up and ready to go.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me. Proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
We drive tech. We drive the industry. Going beyond the limits and advancing forward. A versatile all-in-one solution. We're here for you every step of the way. And that's why you see Fuel Tech everywhere.
Virginia, get ready for a 4-day full throttle weekend. September 17th through 20th, Virginia Motorsports Park, the Pro-Line Racing PDRA World Final. Thursday, fans get in free for the PDRA Pro Stars race. Friday night, the party's on with Lady Smith live on stage. Saturday's Night of Fire with jet cars, nostalgia fun cars, and more. Sunday, World Champions race for the crown. Buy a PDRA Fast Pass, just $30. Good Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. See it, hear it, feel it. PDRA.
You're watching the Redline Oil PDRA on FloRacing, the most competitive heads-up 8th mile racing in the world.
We are gearing up for round 2 here at Galot Motorsports Park. I'm Kayla Morton with FloRacing, and if you miss round 1 of eliminations in the pro categories, you miss an absolute gooder. They're scraping the track behind me, so lucky for you, I have all the time in the world to tell you about the drama that happened from round 1 of eliminations. Let's take a look at your Redline Oil round recap from round number 1, starting with Pro Nitrous, Mr. Dane Wood. Take a look at him. There is a slayer. Takes out number 1 in points, Tommy Franklin. He goes down to the lower qualified car, Dane Wood, and Dane Wood teaches him a lesson on the tree. Ryan McCain put 005 in the box. That's exactly what he cut on the tree, and that's exactly the margin of victory it took to take out Mr. Tommy Franklin. Now, let's take a look at this ladder. I could talk about all these matchups, but let's start with Ryan Bush versus Amber Denton there on the left side. Ryan has been low ET of every round so far, so Amber has a huge job to do here. We will see if she can get it done, but let me tell you, Ryan Bush is a problem in this Pro Nitrous category, and I guarantee you all these guys are shaking in their boots over Ryan Bush. How about Dane Woods versus Molnar? Dane Wood is a killer on the tree. Like I said, 005 last round. I expect him to do the exact same thing here, and the McCains have that car on a rail. That car just gets better and better each race. And the marquee matchup for me is Marcus Butner versus Tim Papp. If you were watching earlier, Butner has a fresh bullet in his car, and he is going to need a lap to take out Papp. Wow, I just made a rhyme. That was really good. If you thought Pro Nitrous was exciting, Pro Boost came out and put on a show. Let's take a look at your highlight from that. Jay Santos takes out your number 1 qualifier. The big man on campus has a malfunction on the starting line, rolls the beams, and earns himself a first-class ticket home. Ty Tutterow is on the trailer first round thanks to Jay Santos. I'm sure everybody is really loving that in that Pro Boost category. Let's take a look at this elimination ladder, and oh my gosh, do we have some things to discuss here. Santos versus Weatherford. Santos is going to need a little more than luck this round. Randy is hungry for a win, and quite honestly, I don't know that I have seen him more excited on the big end as he was for his first round victory. He had a huge win over Ned Dumpy, and he has some momentum going in to this round. Teammates Carson Perry and Travis Harvey face off against each other. Now, Travis Harvey is in the running for the championship. I believe he sits number 4. So will Carson Perry lay down and let Travis get this win, or will he race him straight up, give him a run for his money, and teach his mentor a lesson? We'll see if the teacher or the student wins this round here at Galat Motorsports Park. And the matchup of the round for me, Jason Harris versus Johnny Camp, your number 1. Jason Harris versus your number 2, Johnny Camp in points. Now, Johnny needs to take out Jason here early, chip away at the points, and find himself just at least even with him, leaving Galat and going into Virginia. If he can find himself a couple of wins today and put Harris out early, he just might have enough momentum going into Virginia to take that top spot. Let's move on to Pro Street, and honestly, this was just as exciting as the other 2 classes. Scott Kincaid and Richard Reagan line up out of your number 8 and 9 spot. These are teammates and number 2 and number 3 in points. A bittersweet victory for Scott Kincaid. I know he hates to take his teammate out, but Scott has been hot here lately. He's been successful in the last few races, and now he is chasing Blake Denton for that championship. Let's take a look at your ladder for Pro Street. On the left-hand side, Essick versus Kincaid. Like I said, Kincaid has kind of been on a row, but he takes on Brown Sugar, Tim Essick, a very consistent car, and your number 1 qualifier. Blake Denton and Joel Winsley Jr., number 1 and number 4 in your championship, are going at it in round number 2. And my pick of this round, Ron Green versus Jerry Morgano. Ron Green was low ET of the round, and my pick to win this entire event. But Jerry Morgano has had a little luck on his side. He won in a hole shot last round, but he has his hands full this round. We're going to see how things shake out. I have one more bonus highlight for you guys, and I could not be happier to give you a peek at this. Connor McGee in Super Street sets the world record last night and backs it up this morning, going 4:48 with a 6 on his solo bye run out of the number 1 spot. He picks himself up a 50-point bonus and finds himself less than a round out of that number 1 spot in the championship. Now, him and Austin Vincent are on opposite sides of the ladder. So if they both continue to be successful here in Galat, you could see them match up in a final round, switch positions, and Connor could just be your points leader at the end of the day. So much drama, so many stories. As you can see, they're working really hard on the racetrack behind me. Pro Nitrous will be your first pro category out. I'm headed to the big end. I can't wait for this round. You can't wait for this round. Stick to your TVs because it is going to be a round to watch. Jay Santos, you just took down the #1 qualifier, and a lot of people out here are going to owe you a favor after that lap.
It was just, sometimes you got to be lucky, and we were lucky, and that's all there is to it. And on to the next one.
Congratulations. We will see you in E2, and I'd rather be lucky than good anytime.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Scott Kincaid, I know that's a bittersweet victory for you, taking out your teammate in round 1, but that was a beautiful pass, wheels up, 397, and you're looking good for today.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. That's what it should have ran. It felt good early. It actually didn't really as bad. It's good. I hate I had to run him first round, but I wasn't going to lay down for him. He wouldn't lay down for me. If you got to win like that ain't right. So.
Let's talk about points for a second. Your 1-round win over, moving into #2, and you've kind of been on a hot streak.
Yeah. Hopefully we can keep it up. He was closer to first than I was. I was hoping he would beat me, just to be honest with you, but it just didn't work out.
Well, go do it for your team. We'll see you in E2.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jared Morgano, you have had a weekend of ups and downs. You went from the bottom of the sheet to the top of the sheet in a qualifying session that we were battling weather. Just now, you got yourself a whole shot victory to move you to E2, and your car smells like training fluid. What's going on?
Well, we fired the car up right before we bring it to the lanes this morning, and the converter locked up. So last minute, we tore everything apart. My crew guys, John and Corey, thrashed like 20 minutes, trans out, new converter in, and back in the car and running. So there's transmission all over the inside of the car because we spilled it putting it in. But you know what? Thanks, props to Brown. I mean, him waiting for me and them holding up so I can make a lap was awesome. So 3 more to go. We're winning this thing.
He said it. We're winning this thing. Only up from here. Congratulations. We'll see you next round.
Thank you.
You're welcome, honey. Blake Denton, you got yourself a very relieving round 1 win, not only for this race, but in points talk. You just kind of put a little bit of distance between you and Richard, and he went out first round.
Yeah, you know, that's crazy that the teammates had to run their second and third in points, but I know they're gunning for me. Scott's already told me he's gunning for me. Yeah, I just got to do my job, and I came here to win this race, and that's what I plan to do.
I think you're doing your job just fine. Congratulations. Him and Amber are moving on to round 2 here in Galat.
Yep.
Ron Green, I said at the beginning of the day to start off the morning, today you need to watch out for Ron Green in Pro Street. He is my pick to win, and you did it. 393.2 low ET of the round so far.
Cool. I'm loving it. I'm hoping that it's right. I'm hoping that you're true. I'm hoping it works out for us. Yeah, it's been good. We're trying to get this Soma-powered, quick fuel car to the winner's circle. You know, we don't have that little Ironman yet. We want it. We want it bad.
I think you're off to a pretty dang good start. Let's keep it rolling. I'll see you up here in round number 2.
That works for me.
Thank you, Mr. Ron.
And what an opening round we did have. Our first pair out onto the racetrack is going to be Dane Wood and Timmy Molnar. Going to lead the charge here. Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous. Cool looking drone shot there on FloRacing of our staging lanes here at Galot Motorsports Park. So here we go. Dane Wood, Tim Molnar. Wood, one of those spoilers that we've been talking all day about. He took out your points leader in the opening round of eliminations. He'll be on the right-hand side. The one-trick pony, 2012 Mustang for Bay Concrete Affordable Trans. BHM Drag Racing, Three Guns Customs, and Ryan McCain doing the tuning on his machine. Timmy Molnar, left-hand side, out of Seville, Ohio, the TRM Manufacturing, Gem Attachments, ARC Gases 69 Camaro. Coming into this matchup, Molnar had lane choice. He chooses that left-hand side of the racetrack.
Yeah, he was 14 thousandths of a second quicker than Dane Wood in the opening round of competition. And don't forget, Dane Wood went 005 and used a whole lot of racetrack to take down the points leader, Tommy Franklin. Tim Molnar's car, over there on the left-hand side, has looked extremely well here in Benson this weekend. A guy that we haven't seen on tour in a while, has been taking care of some things back home, but showed up in a big way.
It's something else to think about. Molnar, very consistent in qualifying. Right now, the sun has come out here in Benson, North Carolina. The track temps are climbing. It may be in his favor this round. Track temp just went to 117, so.
As we talked about it, and they drew it up just like this, that first round was going to be in cooler weather conditions. Round number 2, we would see it just like in qualifying and testing, and that's where Tim Molnar had the better race car in those hotter conditions. So they go into the top light. This is your first pair, round number 2, Schweitzer Dynamics Pro Nitrous. Red light start for Molnar, and Dane Wood, even though he's silently coasting to the other end, is going to be your round winner. Look at the excitement down to the starting line of the Wood camp. 594 beats a 374 elapsed time, due to a 002. Red light start for Tim Molnar. He did not need to push the tree, I feel like. But
I mean, that's what Dane Wood's going to do to you when you come up alongside of him. Wood won first round with the 005 reaction time and a hole shot. So Tim Molnar knew he had to push the tree a little bit, but just pushed it just a tad too far.
And it's got to make me believe he's seen what happened with Tommy Franklin, and he went for it right there.
100%. So our next pair, another spoiler in the category, lines up on the left-hand side of the racetrack in Tim Papp out of Charleston, Illinois. The Papp Auto Body 2016 Corvette for KTR Drag Racing, a Pat Musey Mill underneath the hood scoop. Marcus Butner has an opportunity here to take over the points lead when we leave Benson. But man, they're frantic over here at Butner's machine, Derek.
Yeah, the passage door flies open. The crew dove in, and now they slam the door shut. Burnout's underway. Here comes Marcus Butner.
Butner out of nearby Tobaccoville, North Carolina. The Heartbreaker 69 Camaro for Redline Oil, PST Technologies, Race Star Wheels, another Musey Mill underneath the hood scoop.
Well, and here's something to take into consideration. Tim Papp had lane choice. He shoved Marcus Butner, your number 2 qualifier, over into the right lane. We just seen Dane Wood go out and shatter the tires. And it's going to be very interesting, as this is a driver that is in the hunt for a world championship here in 2026.
Fun fact, if Tim Papp can eliminate Marcus Butner here in the second round of eliminations, it opens the door up for Freddie Scriba to make up some championship ground in the point standings. So we'll see. Will Tim Papp play the part of spoiler here in round number 2 at Drag Wars? Well, Marcus Butner marks down to another win line. He's been on, and quite possibly could be Butner and Scriba next round if they both turn on the win light here.
Be 2 and 3 in the points. Huge matchup potentially in the making. But right now, Tim Papp, he knows the business at hand. Left-hand side of the racetrack with his Chevrolet Corvette. A Papp auto body. Into the top lights they go. Who will be the first to stage? And simultaneously, advantage goes to Butner. Papp's car brushes the left side retaining wall at 367. Marcus Butner has no issues getting down the right-hand side of the racetrack this afternoon in the heat of the day at 207 miles an hour. But Tim Papp, he did not want to give up and drove that car almost to the point of no return. 393, 152, and I'm pretty sure that there is a little white paint on Tim Papp's left-hand side of that Corvette.
6:32, we need you to the staging lanes. Watching again here on the Flow replay. He had the front end hiked up and it was veering over towards that left-hand side, and man, if he didn't hit it, he missed every opportunity in the world. Here we go from the back side view at home on Flow. And I don't know if he got it or not, but man, he was dangerously close. He was as close as you'd ever want to get, I promise you that. So the Robert Hayes teammates will fire to life here and pull through the water box. Freddie Scriba and Brian Schrader.
So Marcus Butner, we heard that explosion as he went through the finish line in round number 1. That caused the team to change motors going into round number 2. And, well, I would say the tune-up was there.
100%, but if you also remember, he had to do the same thing at our last stop at Bristol. In the semifinals, he let one go through, going through the traps, came back and won the event. So we'll see what happens next round for Marcus Butner. Freddie Scriba and Brian Schrader, though, on the starting line now. As I said, teammates out of the Robert Hayes Motorsports camp. Schrader on the right-hand side, the Pandemonium 2017 Corvette. And Freddie Scriba out of Millersville, Maryland, the Sorcerer 1969 Camaro for Scriba Welding and Robert Hayes. Again, 2 Pat Musey-powered machines go head-to-head here in round number 2.
Freddie Scriba was 0.02 of a second quicker than Brian competition. And another one of those teams that opt to go to the left-hand side of the racetrack. But Brian Schrader, he has seen win lights appear in the right lane right ahead of him with Dane Wood and then Marcus Butner. Even though the left lane seems to be a little favored in lane choice, we've seen the win lights appear right-hand side of the track. They're in. Oh, big-time advantage goes to Brian Schrader. Scriba drives it on the racetrack, and by 0.06 of a second, a whole shot win takes place here in round number 2. Brian Schrader is victorious in 373, edging out Freddie Scriba's 371.6. Man, Scotty, we're talking about 12 inches or less down there margin of victory.
Man, what a drag race. That opens the door up, though, for Marcus Butner to make up valuable championship grounds as everyone around him in the championship standings has been knocked out of a competition here today. Amber Denton next out here on the right-hand side out of Fredericksburg, Virginia, the OG Jungle Rat 69 Camaro for Franklin Electric, SmartCom, Mincer Motorsports, Hoosier Tire, Weld Racing, and Lincoln Electric. And Ryan Bush bust onto the scene here this weekend in PDRA competition and has looked unstoppable. Number 1 qualifier, low for the round in E1. Final call for Pro Street, final call for Pro Street. You need to be in the staging lanes now. So Ryan Bush going to try to knock down Amber Denton here in round number 2 of eliminations.
So Denton comes to the starting line, right side of the track. G Jungle Rat. She is just the second woman to compete in PDRA Pro Nitrous competition, following, of course, the late Lizzie Busey, and in the footsteps of her father, Tommy Franklin, a 3-time world champion. Amber Denton has her work cut out for her against Ryan Bush, far side of the racetrack.
But as you mentioned, we just saw 2 back-to-back win lights on the right-hand side as they start to head towards the top bulb on the Christmas tree.
Ryan Bush has got to know he's taking on one of the best leaders in the class. Amber Denton's going to get up on the wheel right here.
Reaction time advantage goes to Denton. They're side by side through the traps. How about Amber Denton? 368.9 at 205. And you saw Ryan Bush's car start to backfire through the pipes over there on the left-hand side. And Amber Denton takes full advantage, turns on the win light.
Absolutely. Your number 8 qualifier takes out number 1, Ryan Bush. It was just 7 thousandths in reaction time, but Bush's car started to encounter issues before the half-track mark, and Amber Denton sails on by for the round win. She will be in her first semi-final round appearance of 2026, and will have lane choice over Dane Wood.
Yeah, has a chance to make some redemption after Dane Wood knocked her dad out there in the opening round, and Marcus Butner will face Brian Schrader, with Butner having lane choice in that matchup. 632 and Super Street, 632 and Super Street. You should be in the staging lane. 632, Super Street, we need you. So now we make a jump to the Shark Tank, known as Pro Boost. And man, the first matchup, number 1 and 2 in the championship point standings, with Jason Harris and Johnny Camp. Little drama down here though, because Jason Harris's machine not firing. Now it's awake, we'll say. Johnny Camp, left-hand side out of Cannonsburg, the Hells Bells 69 Camaro. Jason Harris here on the right-hand side behind the wheel of the Party Time machine.
Johnny Camp made his move to Pro Boost in 2020. During this time in the category, him and Jason Harris have went head-to-head 4 times, and Jason Harris has been victorious against Johnny Camp 3 of those 4 times. Points implications are huge right here. You've got a national championship on the line, and Jason Harris is trying to be a 5-time PDRA world champion.
If he can accomplish that goal, he'll be the first ever 5-time champion in PDRA history. But Johnny Camp in that Hells Bells machine, always bad fast with Brandon Stroud on the keyboard, has all eyes on that black machine left-hand side of the racetrack.
Johnny Camp's first Pro Boost victory came right here in Benson, North Carolina. He graced the winner's circle in 2020 at PDRA Drag Wars. He got Jason Harris in this round number 2 matchup. He comes to the starting line, left-hand side. Of course, Jason into the final round and won earlier this season. Race number 1.
Camp had lane choice. He chose the left side of the racing surface. We'll see if there's any advantage over there. They start to head towards the top bulb. Crew members will walk away from their machines.
So a lot of excitement with this pair you see on the starting line. Your opening pair, round 2 of Pro Boost. Jason's waiting patiently. Johnny still being guided to the pre-stage beam. You see Bob Harris, Jason's dad, watching on. The Harold Denton Party Time Chevrolet, first to light the pre-stage bulb. A few more inches and this pair will be set to go. They're identical at the starting line. Jason's car nearly contacts the right side retaining wall, 360, 210 miles an hour. Jason got extremely crossed up, about 100 to 150 feet out. You see the tire chatter marks, and it made a violent move, and Johnny Camp streaks for the win.
Yeah, looking at the racetrack, you can see out there, Jason gets a little bit out of the groove, out of the center of the racetrack, and you can see the chatter marks like you spoke on, Derek, out there on the left-hand side.
As soon as it left the starting line, you watch it on the Flow Instant Replay, it drove to the left just a bit. And that was enough to get the left side of the car out of that groove.
Yeah, you mentioned just a bit. That's not even 12 inches out there outside of that main groove that they've been going up and down. So that opens the door wide open for Johnny Camp. If he can capitalize here this weekend, he can make up a bunch of ground in the championship standings. He out-qualified Harris here at this event. So Randy Weatherford, Jay Santos. Remember, in the opening round, Jay Santos with the upset over Ty Tutterow, your #1 qualifier. Jay Santos came out here with the Hail Mary shot in Q3 to put this Chevrolet Camaro into the field, Derek.
If I were to tell you that 494 was the winning elapsed time for Jay Santos in round 1 of Pro Boost, I think you would question me almost, considering the fact that we just set a new record with the fastest Pro Boost field in history right here this weekend. But obviously Ty Tutterow encountered issues in round number 1, and that car didn't even make it 30 feet from the starting line, and that was a tough break. So your number 16 qualifier goes head-to-head with number 9 right here in round number 2, and that's the WS Construction Chevrolet far side of the racetrack, and Randy Weatherford. We got the chance to talk to him earlier on in the weekend with the Hearts Power, and he says, you know what, the car has been flawless in the heat. It runs really good, and this is what we're all about, turning on wind lights. He's hungry for it.
So Weatherford left side, Santos here on the right as they'll start to make their way towards the top bulb on the Christmas tree.
But it's been a wild round, what we've seen already in round 2 of Pro Nitrous and what it's shaping up to be in Pro Boost. So can another upset take place with Jay Santos taking down Randy Weatherford here?
It certainly can, and cloud cover again here over the racing surface. So hopefully the track temps are dropping. Pre-stage lights illuminate as they head towards the top bulb. Here we go. Reaction time advantage goes to Weatherford. Santos out of power. Weatherford, how about a 362.3 at 209 miles an hour to march into round number 3 of eliminations. Randy was 23 going by the Christmas tree, 931 down low, and a 362.3 at 209 to turn on the win light.
So the two-time national event winner in Pro Boost, Randy Weatherford, will gain a semi-final round appearance here in Benson today.
So this was going to be a pretty cool matchup. It was going to be teammates, but unfortunately Travis Harvey broke his machine and will not make the call for round number 2. So Carson Perry will be on a competition single here out of Sims, North Carolina for Red Top Motorsports. Holland Enterprises, Proline, and Harts Charger, the 2022 Corvette, going to make a single pass here and move on to round number 3. And man, how good has Carson Perry looked? Makes his Pro Boost debut when we went to Bristol. And that car has looked strong. Comes in here your number 3 qualifier this weekend.
Well, and Carson obviously with this is going to go to the semifinals, but without a doubt, I'm sure Carson would tell you he would love to match up with Travis Harvey, his teammate, a driver and a person that he looks up to on and off the racetrack. So that was something that I was excited to see take place, but unfortunately for Travis, they've been fighting issues.
And we have spoken on it throughout the weekend, even in qualifying. He made the Hail Mary shot in Q3 to get into the field, but still some problems plaguing that Camaro. So all eyes on Carson Perry as he'll pull up there on the left-hand side of the racing surface and make a solo shot in a trip to the semifinals.
He'll take on Johnny Camp as soon as he takes the tree here. For the Red Top Motorsports, 23-year-old fabricator Carson Perry, staged and ready. It's aggressive with it early on, and you see a lot of wheel speed at 493 at only 99 miles an hour. But Carson, nonetheless, will be back around. And WS Construction Pro Boost, presented by P2 Contracting and Tie Drive, later this afternoon at Toronto Motorsports Park.
Ethan Stedding and Eric Dillard going to round out our Pro Boost category. Stedding is going to be on the left-hand side. For P2 Contracting, P2 Paving, Redline Oil, Tie Drive, YO Motorsports, and NGK Spark Plugs. Eric Dillard here on the right-hand side. Proline Racing, Fuel Tech, the El General 69 Camaro. And I'm going to tell you what, this Camaro on the right-hand side has looked stout here at Benson all weekend.
Without a doubt, you know, Eric Dillard was one of the original PDRA performance pioneers per se. At the very first event back in 2014, came the first turbo driver into the 350s. Later that week, it went over 221 miles an hour. So Eric Dillard has has a long history here in the Premier 8th Mile Drag Racing Series, not only as a tuner and driver, and gets back behind the wheel this weekend to take on a multi-time world champion over there on the left-hand side, the young gun Ethan Stedding.
Ethan Stedding with Tuttaros behind him. Tie Drive, YO Motorsports, one of the team cars at a P2. Can he get it done and take down Eric Dillard? He's had a bad, fast race car as well.
So in his freshman year, per se, of Pro Boost competition, Ethan Stedding, left-hand side, gets to take on Eric Dillard of the Q80 Racing 69 Camaro.
Here we go, Derek. 269 Camaros will head to the top bulb. Move a few inches forward to light full stage. 3 fires, and here we go. Reaction time advantage, a big one to Dillard, but he's out of power. Watch Ethan Stedding, 360 with the 7 at 206 miles an hour to march into the semifinal round.
So Ethan Stedding will take out your number 4 qualifier with that 360 elapsed time, and he will have lane choice in round number 3 over Randy Weatherford, the WS Construction Chevrolet Camaro. 4 remain. They'll come back later this afternoon as we get closer to crowning champions here at PDRA Drag Wars, presented by Big Stuff.
Elite Top Sportsman, we need you. Elite Top Sportsman, we need you. To the staging lanes at this time, please, for your next round of eliminations. Elite Top Sportsman, we need you.
Danewood, you showed enough skill last round that you deserved a little luck this round, and you got just that.
Yeah, we did. Let go. I don't know what I was, but I seen his red light was on, and I was thanking everybody because it was shaking pretty good out there.
Molnar went 002 red. I'm telling you, you are so good on the tree that I think everybody is just up there tense, and he showed it, and it worked out in your favor.
Yeah, it did, and we just need some more laps, and we're getting there. Each time we're getting closer, so can't thank everybody, all my sponsors enough, and y'all for coming out here and interviewing us and bringing it to the fans, so thank you.
Welcome to round 3.
Thank you.
Brian Schrader, you go 006 on the Christmas tree, taking out Freddie Scriba and doing Marcus Butner a huge favor. But congratulations on your round win.
Thank you very much. I don't know. I really don't know. Had a Monster Energy before that round, got me going. I was feeling a little low. I'm not sponsored by them, never will be, but I do love them.
Kudos to Monster Energy. You got this man up on the wheel. Let's see if we can do it again in round 3.
King Kong ain't got nothing on the Panda.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Scotty, we got a big matchup here starting us off here in Pro Street. Scott Kincaid, left side, number 3 in the championship standings. He took down his teammate, Richard Reagan, but for his sake, he took down number 2 in the points. Needs to carry on. Blake Denton still in competition. Scott Kincaid's got a monster beside him, though, with Tim Essick.
Yeah, Essick, man, I'm going to tell you what, everybody in the race control, their jaws hit the ground when Essick laid down an 89.3 in qualifying. None of us thought the air was here for an 89, but Tim Essick said, hey, y'all, watch this. He'll be on the right-hand side of the racetrack out of Port Tobacco, Maryland, behind the wheel of Brown Sugar, his 2018 Mustang that he built in the garage at his house. Every piece and part on that machine, Tim has had his hands on, putting it all together. Maxima Racing Oil, Pro Charger, Atomizer Racing Injectors on board his hot rod. How about the left side, Ty?
Left side, Scott Kincaid, the Thornhill, Tennessee Clinch Mountain Transport 69 model Chevrolet Camaro. Screw blower sitting on top of a Noonan Hemi in between the frame rails. BP Racing Fuels, KTR Drag Racing on board that one. We talk about it every time a car comes up now. It's that time of year. This is another round that has championship implications. Tim Essick, so far the quickest car on the property. Here in Liberty's Gears Pro Street, presented by KTR Drag Racing, but he sits beside Scott Kincaid. Kincaid made a run in E1 that I think the front wheels were still in the air when he passed the 330-foot block. He's going to need every bit of it plus some to get around Brown Sugar. Scott Kincaid, Tim Essick, your first pair in category here in Pro Street. Let's see who gets it done here in Benson. They leave the starting line. 3 thou separate them. Kincaid wheels in the air, drives it off the center line, and it's not enough. Tim Essick, 44 up front, and needed every bit of that 395 elapsed time to hold off Scott Kincaid. And Scott Kincaid, if you don't put your hands together for that driving job, you were not watching that race down the racetrack. Scott Kincaid used every bit of the left-hand side of the racetrack to still go 397, and it wasn't enough. Hey, boys, it's a non-contact sport.
Man, Kincaid had the front end hiked up and veered towards that center line. Did a hell of a job behind the wheel to bring it back over to the center of the lane. He might have had to feather it, though, and I think that's maybe where Tim Essick got the advantage.
Oh, there was no feather in there, dog. That was all of it for 660 feet. And how about making a run down the racetrack where the front tires don't touch down until 450 feet down Broadway? That's only using a quarter of the speedway, dog. So here's, yep, you and I were going to the same spot. Hey, great minds think alike. Big round right here. Blake Denton, number 1 and number 2 are gone in the championship standings. Number 4 sits right beside you. Blake Denton, if you want a world championship, this is the run where you better show up.
And he doesn't have an easy one. As Joel Winsley Jr. at a New Hudson, Michigan, the Liberty's Gears PTP Racing Camaro here on the right-hand side of the racetrack, already an event winner on tour this season. But man, we talked about it on PDRA Live. Blake Denton was in the same position last year, into the points lead coming into Drag Wars, and did not walk away with the championship at the end of the year. Does Joe Winsley put a stop to it right here, or does Blake Denton march on and finally start to edge out in the point standings a little bit?
We're going to find out right now. Number 2 and number 3 are gone. Joe Winsley Jr., number 4, sits alongside Blake Denton on the starting line. Jerry Morgano, that's 5th in the standings, sits at the ready line. They are 2 and 3 rounds behind Denton. If they want to get there, Joel Winsley Jr.'s got to turn on a win light. But Blake Denton, this is the round right here that could decide a world championship for the 2026 Redline Oil PDRA Drag Racing Series for Pro Street. This is a huge, huge championship pair on the starting line right now. Scotty spoke on it last season. Blake was out front and fell by the wayside. That went on. Right now, got to show up. No bigger stage than this one right now in round number 2.
Into the top ball they go. Here we go. 3 fires.
Blake Denton is 5 thou red. So Blake Denton turns it red by 0.005 of a second, throws away a 396, and Joel Winsley Jr. had his hands full to save that race car as it went into tire shake out in the middle of the racetrack. And he had his hands full to keep it off the retaining wall and in his lane. But Joel Winsley Jr. will turn on a win light here in round number 2 due to a red light by Blake Denton.
We are watching it back on the replay here, and it looked like maybe Winsley's car went a little bit to the right, and he tried to steer it back, and it started to fishtail down about 3/4 track, did everything he could to keep it within his lane and turn on that win light. Tim Lyons, Mikey Cecina, our next pair to the starting line. Lyons on the left-hand side out of Ringgold, Georgia. The Lyons Custom Motorsports Pro Charge 66 Chevy 2 for M&M Trans and Mincer Motorsports. And Mikey Cecina here on the right-hand side out of Golden, Colorado. The on-track performance parts 2003 Mustang out of KTR. Hemi Power underneath the hood for your number 3 qualifier.
So Tim Lyons got Andy back in round number 1. That was an upset. So now your number 11 qualifier, left-hand side. Mikey Cecina, quicker car on paper throughout the weekend. But it has just been one upset after another we've seen, and crew members are reaching inside of Tim Lyons' Chevy 2 over there. Look at me grabbing the gear shift.
Yeah, the shifter.
Yeah.
So Cecina waits patiently, and it looks from our vantage point that they're having trouble with the shifter.
And at this point, I mean, if you're able to even just stage the car.
So Cecina's going to go ahead, and here comes Tim Lyons. He will bring the Chevy 2 up to the starting line. Cecina already in the top bulb, ready to go.
Yeah, don't look good.
Red light start by 1/1000th of a second for Tim Lyons, but how about Mikey Cecina? 391.0 at 198 miles an hour. Great lap for Team KTR on-track performance parts in the 03 Mustang. Watching on the Flow replay, man, just a whole lot going wrong for Tim Lyons on that attempt. Knocked the tire right off of it as soon as he tried to leave the starting line, but only 1 thou too soon for Tim Lyons. Our final pair in category fires up and pulls through the water box. Another one of those big-time matchups with Ron Green and Jerry Morgano. Number 5 and 6 in the point standings. Morgano here on the right-hand side of Apollo Beach, Florida, the Copperhead 02 Mustang. And Ron Green, left-hand side, the Game Changer Firebird out of Chesterfield, Virginia for Green's Towing, Quick Fuel to Soma, GRD Fabrication, and Mincer Motorsports. I'm going to tell you what, Derek, Ron Green has looked good here at Benson this weekend. Number 2 qualifier at a 391.4. We just watched Cecina lay down low for the round so far at a 391.0. Can Ron Green do much of the same?
Yeah, going to be interesting, and I think Jerry Morgano knows what he's up against. They've got to pick the car up a few hundredths of a second to have a shot at Ron Green with his Firebird over there far side. And here in Pro Street, this round we've watched Joel Winsley have tires shake past half track. Then just last pair, Tim Lyons. The tires off right of the starting line. So there is not one lane favored more than the other per se. The overall win lights.
So here we go. Into the stage ball for Ron Green, waiting on Morgano. 3 fires. Reaction time advantage goes to Morgano. Top into the racetrack. Look at the scoreboard. Ron Green, 395.7 at 196 miles an hour. Oh, yeah. Only took 7 thou down at the stripe. Man, what a drag race.
Jerry Morgano was better off the starting line. 0.33 to the 0.45, and Ron Green drove around in the game changer Pontiac. He will go to the semifinals here this afternoon in Pro Street. We look at our matchups. Tim Essick take on Joel Winsley with lane choice going to Essick. Ron Green and Mikey Cecina will be your second pair in Pro Street semifinal rounds. And Mikey Cecina, by 0.04 of a second, will have lane choice.
In the pits, elite top dragster. Elite top dragster, we need you. Elite top dragster, we need you. Now it's time for a little PDRA Pro 632 presented by Mark Williams. Our first pair already completing their burnouts. Ryan Altman, most recent winner on tour. Left-hand side of the racetrack for Greenbrier Excavating. 2018 Camaro with the Barry Allen race engines, PTP Racing, and Mickey Thompson tires on board. And Pat Patterson here on the right-hand side making his first stop on tour this season out of Wesley Chapel, Florida in the Insulin Racing 69 Camaro known as Public Enemy.
Patterson here in round number 2. We're going to pull Patterson back just a little bit and make a slight change as they come to the starting line. Altman for Greenbrier Paving and Excavating. Everybody over there watching on for Team Greenbrier. Quite a few on the starting line. Watching Ryan Altman, your number 3 qualifier, to take care of business over the Wesley Chapel, Florida, Patrick Patterson.
Reaction time advantage, a big one, goes to Patterson, but you can see the white Camaro start to pull away, and Ryan Altman turns on the win light with a 4.16.3 at 170 miles an hour. Pat Patterson was 005 going by the tree, but just did not have the performance to get it done on the top end. He goes through at a 4.23.3 at 167. Carson Hoyle, J.C. Beatty Jr. What a matchup this is. Hoyle on the left-hand side out of Hickory, North Carolina for ATI Performance Products, the 69 Camaro. Maxima Racing Oils, Mazier Enterprises, and Fuel Tech on board his machine. Beatty here on the right-hand side out of Baltimore, Maryland. The ATI Performance Products 2018 Camaro for Jessel, JE Pistons, and Total Seal Rings.
So this is a crucial round for JC as they are trying to widen the gap between him and Jeff Pittman, the World Championship battle. In Pro 632, Pittman went out in round number 1. Now Carson Hoyle. Left-hand side, half UC Power to ATI Performance Products Camaro from the starting line.
Carson Hoyle left side, J.C. Beatty Jr. on the right. Hoyle into the top bulb. Beatty just rolls right on in. Here we go. Reaction time advantage. It's a big one going to Carson Hoyle. Can he pull the upset off? No. How about a 4.10 with a 6 at 175 for J.C. Beatty Jr. Had to drive around Carson Hoyle, who was 006 to Beatty's 40 reaction time. Carson Hoyle lays down a 4.17.5 at 168, but it's just not enough.
Hey, attention out of the grandstands. If there is a Angel Suarez here, Angel Suarez, if you are here, come to Race Control. You have something that belongs to you. Angel Suarez, if you are here on property, come to Race Control. You have something that belongs to you. Let's look at our Pro 632 final round matchup. It will be J.C. Beatty taking on Ryan Altman, and by 6 full hundredths of a second, J.C. Beatty will have lane choice in their final round affair.
Johnny Camp, 0-10 on the light, 360 at the finish line. We have ourselves a championship brewing, and you have some momentum going into Virginia, taking out Jason Harris there.
We're working on it. Anytime you can beat Jason at anything, badminton, racing, whatever, you've done something. So we're happy. You know, that team's great. We're happy for the win. Thank you to NGK Spark Plugs, Pro Charger, Pro Line Racing. Just happy, moving on one at a time.
I think you're missing one thank you. We talked about it last round. The Iron.
Oh, thank you to the Iron Chic, CT, all the girls, everybody takes care of us. You know, PDRA, especially Pro Line. They put this motor together with a brand new motor, put it together in 3 days, had it ready for the race.
Congratulations, Johnny. We got ourselves a freaking championship going.
Thank you.
So now we're making the move into 1325 Super Street, presented by Brian's Heating and Cooling. And Troy Hill going to be on a competition single. Is supposed to face off against Matt Shallow. Shallow, big damage evidently under the hood for the War Pig.
For you know, the team that qualified number 3, then in round number 1 they go 453, and mechanical failure. Like them not to be able to come to the starting line here against Troy Hill in round number 2 of Super 3.
All eyes on Troy Hill here on the right-hand side. Trying to make it to back-to-back finals on tour. Ooh.
Backfire right at the starting line for Troy Hill. Even though he took the tree, and that constitutes a win. So he will be in the semifinals of 1320 Fabrication Super Street, presented by Brian's Heating and Cooling.
Charles Potter, Austin Vincent. Vincent, your championship points leader here on the right-hand side out of Central City, Kentucky. For Vincent Performance, the 88 Mustang, Fuel Tech, Nitrous Express, Modern Supply, Afterworks, all on board, helping his machine. Charles Potter, left-hand side out of Leesville, South Carolina, the CPR Performance 84 Mustang.
You know, this is such a crucial round if you are Austin Vincent over there on the right side, as Connor McGee set the new national record of the category, which gained him 50 extra bonus points, and he was the #1 qualifier this weekend. So when you're talking about a guy that is trying to gain ground on Austin Vincent, Connor McGee is doing everything he possibly can, and he's doing it right in a big way. So right here, this is a 2-for-1. You turn on the win light, you get a bye run to the final round, and Austin Vincent is going to try to go back-to-back here in the category. One in Bristol, try to do it in Benson today. Charles Potter, Leesville, South Carolina, CPR Performance, Blue Oval Ford, over there on the left side, is standing in his way as your number 5 qualifier. And Potter, car is made A to B hits every time they came to the starting line, even though they've been a 1/10 of a second off from Austin Vincent. Anything can happen, and we've seen it already today.
3 stage lights on the Christmas tree. Full stage for Potter. Here comes Vincent. They are out with the reaction time advantage going to Austin Vincent. To the top end they go. It's going to be Austin Vincent. Another 4:53.8 at 167 gets it done. Charles Potter only goes a 4:71.8. Not his best pass of the weekend when he needed it the most.
No, man, slows down a 1/10 from round number 1 for Charles Potter. So Austin Vincent, back-to-back final round appearances here in the category of Super Street.
So our final pairing category, past world champion, lines up on the left-hand side out of La Plata, Maryland, the red velvet 1990 Mustang. For Essex Motorsports, ATI, UPR, Maxima, Atomizer, Pro Charger, and Mincer Motorsports, Dan Wettstein. And here on the right-hand side, my man is having a weekend. Number 1 qualifier, new world record holder, and Connor McGee, your defending world champion in the category, behind the wheel of the 1990 Mustang for Bryant's Heating and Cooling, Driven Racing Oil, Bucked Up Energy, and Fulton Engines.
Top Junior Dragster, we need you to the lanes, please. Attention to the pits, attention to the pits. Top Junior Dragster, we need you to staging. So Dan Wettstein, one of the OGs in Super Street competition. And you know he's got to be thinking, man, these young kids are beating up on us. If anybody that can give Connor McGee a run for his money, Dan Wettstein, I'm sure, is going to throw the kitchen sink at it. Going to get off the starting line first and hope it's enough. And we're talking 1/10 of a second difference in qualifying elapsed time and from round number 1. Winner of this will take on Troy Hill next round. And man, it's Wettstein. He's 006, and there's a problem for Connor McGee. You see the backfire out of the hood scoop, and Wettstein, 469, 158, will move on and take down your number 1 qualifier and world record holder in Super Street, Connor McGee. Another upset just unfolds in front of us right there. Watch the instant replay on FloRacing, and right about now, you see the fire right out of the hood of that 90 model Mustang for Connor McGee, and Dan Wettstein trucks to the other end of the racetrack with the wind light shining first Federal Lane.
And but shout out to Wettstein. He was up on the wheel ready for this one. 006 when they went by the Christmas tree. Connor McGee was 44.
And as a driver, Wettstein, he knew he had to do that. It was his only chance, and if Connor McGee would have made a clean run right there, I don't think even 006 would have been enough.
Hard to say. We'll see Dan Wettstein and Troy Hill match up in the semifinals when Super Street comes back around. Now we're going to make the jump over to Elite Top Sportsman, the fastest your cars with dial-ins here in the PDRA. Pimpin' and limpin'. First out on the left-hand side, Jamie Fowler out of Ridgeway, South Carolina for PD Fleet, a 69 Camaro. For LAT Racing Oils, Go for Utilities, Yunts RV, CNC Chemical, Fulton Power Plant. In between the frame rails, just a mere 959 cubic inches worth of bracket motor. He'll be dialed in out of 378. And Brian Tiffy here on the right-hand side, the Schween Machine, 2018 Corvette. Another Fulton Power Plant in between the frame rails of this hot rod, 941 cubic inches. He'll be dialed in out of 382. Bracket racing at 200 miles per hour, judging the finish line. But it all starts up here on this end as they purge the nitrous systems and get ready to head towards the top bulb.
How about Brian Tiffy? Staged and ready. 007 Jamie Fowler, the PD Fleet Camaro, will be victorious at 382, 191 miles per hour as Brian let go to be 49, and he is dead 9, and that is not good enough to get around Jamie Fowler's hard-charging PD Fleet Camaro for the round win.
This is a pretty good one here. Zach Hauser, your points leader, left-hand side of the race at North Carolina. Race cars, 2000 Firebird for Pro Charger, H&H Towing. He'll be dialed in at a 382, number 3 in the point standing. The big stuff, Total Power Management, 67 Mustang for Maxima Oil, YO Motorsports, and Metz Performance. He'll be dialed in at a 379.
Hauser shut off and brought the car back to life there after the burnout. So he'll approach the starting line left side. .300ths of a second difference in dial-in. You'll be able to see it on the Christmas tree. Supercharged, big stuff. Mustang and LaFlamme. Oh boy, LaFlamme's in control, 009. Can he hold on by 9,000ths of a second? Give it to Brian LaFlamme. 381 on the 379 and 189 miles an hour takes down Zach Hauser, your points leader, who was 383, one above at 025.
John Benoit out next on the left-hand side. The Corvette out of Vermont for Benoit Electric dials in at a 407, and Ron Whitlock out of Advance, North Carolina for Sunrise Tire. Here on the right-hand side, his 08 GXP will be dialed in at a 395. So 395 for Whitlock here on the right-hand side. Benoit left side at a 407. PDRA Pro Juniors will take you to the lanes, please. Pro Juniors will take you to the staging lanes, please.
Benoit drives towards the center line a bit, and he's going to go dead 3. He is 11 total. How about that? Ron Whitlock was 390, 4.7 on the breakout.
Another one of those big matchups. Mike Keeler, left-hand side out of Middleton, Virginia. The Keeler Motorsports 63 split window dials in at a 408. We just watched Zach Hauser fall. Scott Duggins here on the right-hand side is chasing him in the point standings, as well as Brian LaFlamme. Duggins out of Inman, South Carolina for Par Racing Engines. His 63 split window dials in at a 384. Needs to turn on a win light here. 13 to a 15. Top end win light goes to Mike Keeler. How about dead one to be 16 total? Scott Duggins takes 7 thousandths down at the stripe to run out by 4 thousandths of a second. The door has been opened for Brian LaFlamme. Michael White, left-hand side. We jump into Greenbrier Excavating and Paving Elite Top Dragster. Michael White's going to be dialed in at a 374 out of Arden, North Carolina. For CNC Chemical, Steve Furr out of Harrisburg, North Carolina. The Red Rocket, 2013 American Chassis here on the right-hand side for Hoosier Racing Tire, VP, Mosier, House of Pain, and Parr Racing Engines. Multi-time world champ Steve Furr dials in at a 380. And it's a red light start for Steve Furr. 006 from Michael White, who's 1 above 2 and moving on to the next round. Matt Buck, left-hand side of the racetrack out of West Palm Beach, Florida, for Mickey Thompson, Mazier, FTI, and HRE. Dials in out of 399. Russ Whitlock here on the right-hand side for Sunrise and Hoosier Tire out of Advance, North Carolina. Dials in out of 384.
Identical reaction time. Whitlock's card goes silent, and it's going to be Matt Buck, your winner here at 402-167.
Take just a moment here and make sure the racing surface is good to go. Lindsey Coleman out next here on the right-hand side for Coleman Automotive Machine, the 2017 American Chassis. Donnie and Julie Wilson, Cousins Towing, Renegade Race Fuels, Pro Charger, and Cam's Racing Engines. Dials in at a 384. And Dickie Smith on the left-hand side, the Warren Loud, Smith & Corbin Racing, 2018 Race Tech for Mazier, Paragon, Hoosier, Computech, and Total Power Batteries. 379 the dial in for Dickie Smith.
Lindsey Coleman coming into the starting line. The Pro Charge Chevrolet is a pair. By foul, Dickie Smith is done. Lindsey Coleman moving on at 384 dead 6. 24 total for Lindsey Coleman.
Brian Anderson next down here on the right-hand side out of Carson, Virginia. His 2023 race tech dials in at a 370. And Bruce Westfall, the rapid transit machine out of Granville, Ohio. He'll be on the left-hand side. 372 his dial in.
So the rapid transit entry, Bruce Westfall. Waiting for Brian Anderson. Courtesy stage process underway. They're set. Bruce Westfall is in trouble. Brian Anderson, your winner. He is 23 total and into the next round for the Carson, Virginia race tech there on the right side. Westfall 372.
Now we're going to make the move into Magna Fuel. Back half top sportsman. Vernon Grizzle, left-hand side. The 67 Mustang for Grizzle Grading. Lions Custom Motorsports dials in at a 413. And Mike Daymood here on the right-hand side. For Daymood's Auto Service, the 08 Stratus dials in at a 428. Back half dragster will take you. Back half dragster will take you to the lanes, please. Only 3 thou separated them in reaction time. Top end win light goes to Mike Daymood. 29 on the 28 with a 15 reaction time. Vernon Grizzle was a 419 on a 413. No good.